absolute must-see.
It's the Blueprint. Welcome to the Blueprint Sports Podcast. I'm your man, Ray.
It's your boy, Don.
I'm Jacob.
Let's go. Let's get it. I mean, look, college football, NFL, everything back up and running. But, fellas, I really want to talk about, let's start with Ohio State, Texas. That was the big game, marquee matchup everybody was talking about. And who else to kick it off other than Jacob? Ohio State beat writer. Let's go, Jacob. What's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, man, it was honestly pretty weird to watch. Obviously, like the Arch stuff going in was what anyone was talking about, and I just wasn't expecting him to look like that. Like he's so good with the media and everything, and obviously he's had his name his whole life, and so I just wasn't expecting him to be that like shaken up by everything. But yeah, he looked really off. It was strange.
What you think,
Yeah.
Don? Did you watch the game? I know you did.
Yeah, I watched some of it. So they said that was his first road game. I guess he played, excuse me, a couple games last year. They both were at home. That's a lot of pressure, that Manning name, and then coming into the Ohio State, playing those guys off a national championship. I haven't seen too much of him, but what I've seen yesterday, he looked rattled, and looked like the moment was kind of too big for him. But I expect him to be better as the year goes on. It's the first game. It's the first game for all of our teams, and so there's going to be some growing pains.
Yeah, I think I agree with Peyton. Peyton and Eli was watching it, and Peyton was like, "I told you he was adopted." They didn't like, his performance, but it's growing pains. But those kind of stages are make or break your, career. You know what I'm saying? If he had a really showed out and performed, man, today it'd be a different conversation about, Archie Manning or whatever. And hey, well, let's talk about Ohio. What do you think about Ohio State's team, Jacob? What do you think? What do you see? Any concerns? I still feel like we gonna beat y'all in November. But
Hey,
it's one
listen.
game, but I still believe that. Come on,
No,
talk.
look, I mean, four straight, you have every right to believe that. I don't mind, especially after last year. Like you can, I will give you the freedom to talk however much you like. But no, I thought it was weird. Like the Arch storylines kind of took over everything. Like I haven't really seen anyone say anything about Julian saying. I think, and that was kind of one of the reasons I was so disappointed with Arch is because like Julian is a year younger. He has less experience. Now, granted, like he was at home, but like I'm sure he was nervous too, and he kind of channeled it the right way, and he was solid. But I think for Ohio State, I was just so encouraged by the defense. Like
Yeah.
pretty much, I mean, only three starters back. One of them is Caleb Downs, who I personally think is the best player in the country. But so many of the guys that we kind of had questions about going into the year, they looked really good. So I was encouraged by that. Um, Kind of the run game wasn't great. It was kind of nothing all game, but I think that'll get a little better throughout the year. It did last year. So yeah, overall I'm very happy we won, but definitely a lot of things to improve on as well.
What you
Sure.
think, Don? First game,
The
long
number
season.
one, the number one receiver. What's his name again, Jacob?
Jeremiah Smith.
He kind of struggled yesterday. He dropped a few passes, and I don't know. What you think was going on with him.
He's okay. He's the first target of his career was he dropped too, and that was his only drop of last year. So I don't know if it's like I don't know if he has like butterflies or something, but I think he's gonna be fine though.
I think that man, I hate to say it, man. It's games like this that really make Ohio really get rolling. It was a game they wasn't, picked to win or whatever. Texas ranked in front of them, and they won. They didn't play their best, and they still won. So I think they're gonna go on the road, until they hit that brick wall in November, which is Michigan, of course. So I really want them to go on the road, so the hype will be there. Switching gears a little bit,
Well, let
Bryce
me say
Underwood.
what that. I'm
What
sorry, I
you
didn't mean
say?
to cut you off. No,
No, go ahead.
I love these type of games. I
I
love
did too.
because I feel like it's especially in the beginning of the season. I feel like it's a no lose situation, especially teams like Michigan, Ohio State, some of the higher ranked teams. When you play another ranked team, you can only get better from that. And if you lose early, you got the whole season to make up. You still, especially with the playoff expanding, they'll be okay. So I feel like anytime you play these tough teams in the beginning, I feel like it's a no lose situation. And I feel like it's a win win. I mean, if you win, it's really a win win. But even if you lose, I feel like you gain a lot of experience and just a lot of things from that.
I didn't see any fall off either, losing a defensive coordinator yesterday. This replacement is pretty good
All
itself,
right.
you know.
And even though they got that guy, that defensive coordinator that used to be a head coach, but yeah, they keep churning them in, churning you guys churn them defensive players in and out.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys must hate Patricia, right?
He just
No.
oh man, he was
Oh,
a sore spot for us. I mean, I guess the good thing is he stuck it up so we can get Dan Campbell and and we are where we at now because of
yeah.
him.
So I'm thankful for
Yeah,
Patricia.
yeah. That's
I'm
one way to
thankful.
look
I
at
can't
it.
wait to see him in this November. But he did have a defense looking good. He's a
Yeah.
great defensive coordinator. You can't take that away from him. We're gonna
Yeah,
break
he's
his
definitely a good
pencils though.
coach.
We're gonna
He's
break
got a
his
good head
pencils in
coach.
November. No, but no, it's gonna be good. I want, I love that the rivalry is where it's at, and yeah, I'm excited about it. Let's switch gears a little bit though. Let's talk about the Michigan game against New Mexico. Bryce Underwood, $12.5 million quarterback. Can y'all believe we saying that in college? Made his debut. What was your thoughts? We'll kick it off with you, Don. What was your thoughts on the Michigan overall and Bryce debut performance?
Well, I love Bryce. From what I saw was he didn't get rattled. I mean, for a freshman, an 18-year-old play in the big house first game with all this pressure, he came out. I didn't know he had a gun like that. His arm is, I mean, quick release. He put it in there, and really, I watched pretty much the whole game. I didn't see any bad throws. There was some drops, but I didn't see any bad decisions. He wasn't quick to run the ball. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. He put the receivers in good positions to catch the ball. I feel like it's only going to go up from there. Um, yeah, then the tight end looked pretty good yesterday. We keep a tight end. The defense looked kind of uh, they look kind of. I think they could be all right. I think New Mexico played their heart out. You got to give New Mexico a little credit too. Them guys came in and they didn't, they're playing in the big house. They didn't, cower down. But I love what I've seen and in the running game, that two-back system is going to be beautiful. I think that's going to help Bryce out also. But long story short, I love what I see. I like what I saw from him. I think he's going to do nothing but get better. I mean, he had 251 yards, I think. I think we didn't throw for over 200 or something like that last year at all, in all the games. And this quarterback play in this game alone was better than anything we saw last year from all of our quarterbacks. So I'll take it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Jacob, you always give a fair assessment. So what's your thoughts on what you saw yesterday from Michigan? The team
I
up
thought,
north, as you guys say.
yeah, I'm not gonna say it. No, but I thought Bryce was awesome. It made me a little worried, honestly, that he's this advanced, this fast. I know he's at home. I know it's New Mexico, but like he looked really sharp. And honestly, it was not to keep bringing up Arch, but like it was watching Bryce that made me so disappointed in Arch because Bryce just turned 18. Like he's 3.5 years younger than Arch Manning.
Mhm.
And Bryce's confidence was like his confidence was like I've been the best player on the field in every game I've ever played in, so like why would this be any different? Whereas like Arch's thing was like he was like very clearly trying to prove that he wasn't nervous, and it was just weird like to see Arch like pregame like dancing and like he did you see the video of him like flipping off the camera? Like obviously he was
No, I didn't
joking,
see
but
that.
like yeah, he's like messing around. He's throwing sidearm for no reason in the game. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
it's okay to be a little anxious about this. Like, we're not going to think any less of you. But he was like trying to prove that, whereas Bryce just looks so free. And yeah, I'm a little worried, honestly. I'm a little worried.
You should be. November, baby. I can't wait. No, but I think that they really called a great game for Bryce. You know what I mean? They playing to his strength. And I was very shocked myself to see how confident and comfortable he was out there. Like you said, he felt like I'm the best player out here
Hmm.
and I'm finna go take it. And that's what I wanted to see with Archie that I didn't see. And also when I seen him block that one dude, bro, I'm like,
He's a
oh,
big boy.
this
He's a
kid a
big boy.
monster.
He's big, strong. Yeah,
Yes, he like LeBron playing quarterback.
yeah,
And I like the running game. Nate Marshall, freshman, he stood out, man. That defense, man, I think he made some plays yesterday. You
yeah.
know, and I always thought I was high on him anyway when we flipped him. But I was very impressed with Nate Marshall, and they got some things cooking over there. I think Sharon Moore gonna have them ready on in November.
And
I'm excited
next
about it.
week, next week's going to be a big test
Yeah.
for going out to with Oklahoma. I think it
So,
is.
what game does Moore get suspended?
I think it's the game after Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think he wanted to be there for these two games. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to tell us a lot. I mean, man, Bryce, man, he just got special, like generational type talent on him, man. It's like
Mhm.
the way he was, man. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
okay,
he had a zip on that ball. He was
dude,
decisive. You
yes,
didn't really see any indecisiveness.
no,
Like you said, he came in the huddle like I'm the best player on the field, and
period,
like he believed that. And
period. And I seen how they was following him too. I'm like, dude, he in there like he a sophomore, a junior,
he's a natural
the
leader, man.
man in the
People,
huddle.
yeah, that's that
Yeah,
generational
okay.
type where people follow you and they see it in you too. So yeah, he's gonna be special. I'm looking forward to the Ohio State. You guys gonna keep winning. Keep winning. It's like I said, that's a beautiful thing about the rivalry. Both the teams are good right now, and I love that because now it's just not we're not just playing for just bragging rights. I mean, it is bragging rights, but it's a lot. It's national implications on it too now,
Yeah.
and it's always at the
Big
end of the
Ten
year,
taking
so it's
over
a
the
beautiful
SEC,
thing.
man. Back-to-back champions. We got back-to-back champions, even though they didn't beat us. But they still the national champions. We got to give it to Ohio. Yeah, but let's jump into this conversation that everybody is talking about. Micah Parsons going to the Packers, man. Everybody is talking about this. I'm Dallas. What is going on in the water down there? They trade Luca. Now you trading Micah Parsons, right, to Green Bay. What are your thoughts? Let's start with you, Jacob. What are your thoughts on that?
I was I was so shocked. I had like 15 minutes before the trade was announced, I published like my NFC predictions and stuff, and I had Green Bay going to the Super Bowl. I know you guys probably aren't happy about that, but and then I saw the news and I was like, well, like I guess that helps me out a little bit. I wasn't even really following like the rumors and stuff because I was so convinced that it was just like negotiating stuff and he was gonna get signed like a couple days before the opener and he would be fine. But I was I was pretty surprised. What do you guys think? He's in your division now.
Yeah, Don, you want to go first?
Yeah, I was shocked because Jerry Jones. That's what he does. He plays this thing out for the media. He likes to be the spotlight. He did it with Dak. He did it with the Lamb. He signed these guys at the last minute right before the season. This is your best player on the team, the best defensive player in the league, and he's in his prime. So it shocked me, and then it shocked me that I saw the Green Bay rumors. Green Bay was always going to be a threat. I like their team. And people that try to act like and downplay it, that's because I honestly I would have loved if he'd have came here. I know, we would have had to give up a lot. And I know it's salary cap implications and all that. But just looking at it on paper with our Michigan boy on one side and then him on the other side, they're gonna bring some noise. They're gonna be tough. Now it's gonna really fall. I think Jordan Love is going to be the key for them.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think, it's important that the Lions stay healthy. But one thing that most people, they caught up in the hype, but I look at the trenches and the X's and O's. Kenny Clark gave us problems. If you go back and watch those games last year, even though we beat them, he was kind of stuffing our run. You move him out the way. Now you got these guys on the edge. I think they're a little soft up the middle. But, we got shift on our offensive line, but I still think those two young boys, we got us some beast. So I don't see too much fall off, but it's hard to replace Frank Ragnow. But I think it's Green Bay put all the chips in, and I want to ask you guys, what do you think about when you building team and you going for the Super Bowl about the move that Green Bay they put all their chips in, like now or never, because you didn't gave Jordan Love 100 million, you gave Rashawn Gary 96 million. You just gave Micah Parsons 188 million. At some point, you're not gonna be able to sign somebody in the future, and you don't have these draft picks. So they was like now or never. What are you guys' thought process on should a team take that approach? Because everybody like around here, sports radio was like, Brad Holmes should have pushed the chips in. But my thing is, you got Aiden coming up, you got
yeah,
J-Mo coming up. You got
Gibbs.
Brian Branch coming up.
Yeah.
You got Gibbs coming up. You got Laporta coming up. You know what I mean? So you can't make a move like that, or you're gonna lose a lot of your talent.
Well, let me say it's a lot of us armchair quarterbacks.
Right.
That's not easy. It's not an exact science to it. There's no exact science to it. I mean, you got to pick. You got to pick your poison. Like you said, if you go ahead and go all in, you're gonna have to give up some of these young players in your future. I see what Brad wants to win. He wants to win now and he wants to win in the future. So he's not gonna mortgage his future for that big all in piece. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me, man, because I feel like, especially with our last 2 years, we was right there, and and then you don't get these opportunities too many times. Both
That's-
both both years we should have been in the Super Bowl.
yeah. I feel like if
So
we stay healthy, we would have won. I want to hear what you think
that's what I was
about
gonna say.
that,
Yeah, that's what I
Jacob.
was gonna say. With our defense being healthy this year, I think that's an addition by without even adding anybody. We had historically the injuries we had last year. I think just getting those guys healthy and that's going to make us. If we could be a top 15 defensive team with our offense, we should be okay.
Yeah,
What you
you
think
guys
about
had
that, Jacob? Yeah, give voice to
you,
that.
you guys like everyone on the team was hurt last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the interior of the offensive line does like kind of concern me because that's like where everything is built for you guys is running it down people's throats and obviously like Ragnow is out and Zietler's out too. Zietler was on my Bengals for a lot of years. I loved him, but yeah, I'm kind of concerned about that. And also just like I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the Commanders' loss last year. I don't want to bring up bad memories, but like,
Oh, that's cool.
what, just like, what was the reaction behind that? Because you guys were running it up on everyone. You guys were leaving your
Yeah.
starters in the fourth quarter of the whole regular season. I was like, man, these guys are. I don't know. They have so much confidence and they're running through everyone. And then it felt to me like you guys didn't take Dan Campbell, perhaps didn't take Jaden 100% seriously. He's telling Kevin
No,
O'Connell, "I'll see you in 2 weeks." Like, what were your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna kick that off, Don. I felt like the coordinators It was their fault. Like Ben
Yeah,
Johnson
we
was
talked
not
about
locked
that.
in. Ben Johnson, anybody that knows him, he takes his game planning very, very serious. He saves stuff that you haven't seen all year, and he attacks defenses. He attack them at their strength to make it a weakness. He did not have them prepared. Why do you got Jameson Williams, bro, trying to throw the ball? Everybody on the team like Jamo the worst thrower on the team. Why? So I felt like, to me, he knew he was taking the Chicago job. You know, he wanted to be a head coach. You excited. I kind of feel like Bill Belichick said it best. Coaches shouldn't be allowed to do interviews when they preparing for the playoffs. He don't care who it is. It's a distraction. And he knew that he had this job. He really wanted this job. So to me, I don't think he was really locked in. And Dan Campbell, the type of coach that lets his coordinators do their jobs. He let his coaches coach. And I felt like if he even knew that, or it was, I bet he learned from it, he would have probably been more hands-on. But I was worried, honestly, in my gut. I did not want to play Washington. They was just hot. Like the Lions had got hot that year when they beat Aaron Rodgers. Remember that? How they went on that roll? Mm-hmm. And whatever team got the win behind them, going W-I-N. They got the win. And they just had that momentum, man. And I was nervous because I'm like, we got 14 guys on IR on defense. At some point, that's going to catch up with you. With a quarterback like Jaden Daniels, he was hot. So it was just, on top of the coaches, it was just bad, bro. So learning experience, and we got to get it done this year. What you think, Don?
Yeah, to add on to that, we also, Aaron Glenn, we had both of our top assistant coaches, interviewing for jobs. And so I felt like you said, Washington's weakness last year was they were stopping the run. He didn't give the ball to Gibbs. I don't remember the numbers.
That's what I'm saying. He wasn't locked in.
And every time he touched the ball, they couldn't stop him. And, and especially when our defense, sometimes your offense got to save your defense. So by running the ball, you're keeping their offense off the field, and you playing to our strength, playing to their weakness. And so I don't think they punted the whole game. Washington didn't punt the whole game. And then now we out here throwing trick plays, and you got J-Mo throwing, you know what I'm saying? And it was ridiculous, man. I was worried because I'm a big Jaden Daniels fan. I didn't think they would beat the Lions. I'm not gonna lie, but I know I talked with a lot of guys, and they were just like, "Oh, the Lions are gonna destroy it," and I'm like, don't count these boys out. They're gonna hang in there. It's gonna be. I figured it would be a high scoring game, but I figured we can get a couple stops. And, we'll be able to run the ball and keep their offense up the field. But it was disappointing. I ain't going to lie, Jacob, man. The first year with San Francisco, I was making plans. I think I called you, Rashawn. I was making plans to go to the Vegas. I was on the phone the first half.
We was out there, baby. We was going to the bowl.
They broke my heart the second half. And so, then we come back. We go 15-2. You got, 2 games to get to the Super Bowl. You got probably the lowest. I think Washington probably was the lowest seeded team.
It was.
And then they coming to our place. Even though we were hurt, I'm like, you can't. So we would have won that. Not saying we would have beat Philly, but now you get Philly at home. Come on. How many opportunities 2 years in a row where you get that type of opportunity to go to Super Bowl? Especially for a franchise like us, which, we starving. We haven't seen the championship in our lifetime. And so it's like you got 2 years in a row where you were right there. You don't keep getting those opportunities. And so
and see, to me, when you had them many injuries on your defense, you don't have a 15-win season. You preparing for a high draft pick. The Lions kept winning. So I'm like, dude, we don't get the high draft pick. We don't get the Super Bowl. So that's the double whammy, Jacob. You just opened up some wounds. I'm hurt. But we're going to get it done this year. We stay healthy. I love our chances, man, because the offense ain't going to miss a beat. People talking about the coordinators. I was talking to Lomas Brown, and I said, you play, Lomas. All this hype about these coordinator stuff, is that really true? What's going on? He said, "What? This is what I want you to watch, and you'll be able to tell. Are they having a lot of false starts, having trouble to get the play in?" He said that stuff be overrated. If you start seeing that stuff in the beginning, then it's a problem. They got to adjust. But this guy not changing nothing. He added some John Gruden stuff to make it better. He said, and the good thing about it is Johnny Moe don't want to be a head coach. He want to be an offensive coordinator. That's it. So now y'all got somebody that's locked in. You know what I mean? And so, hey, let's go and let's get it. So, yeah, I'm excited about the season. Packers, and we'll be back next week to talk about week 1.
Well, I wanted to ask Jacob, you said you was
Bengals fan.
This Bengals, right. So
let's talk about the Bengals real quick.
Hey, look, if anyone can relate to your guys' pains about playoff struggles, about not seeing a championship, it's our fan base. Like we had that's the thing, like especially being in the AFC, like you're not gonna get these chances every year. And so when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, I mean, down 3, Joe Burrow has the ball in a 2-minute drill, and we don't win that game. My soul was crushed that day. And yeah, I mean it's going to be the same story this year with the Bengals. The defense is awful. I I just hope I hope all the stars stay healthy so we can at least have a fun season and maybe sneak in and win a couple games in the playoffs. But I don't think you're not winning a Super Bowl with this defense. So I don't think we're a legitimate threat, unfortunately.
You guys found a way to sign your top defensive guy, though. I was thinking.
I thought we had a shot at him.
I was like, come on, they don't want to sign him. Bring him on to Detroit.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same thing with Parsons. Like the Cowboys were like, hey, we're gonna suck on defense anyway, and let's get some picks for him. So I wouldn't have hated honestly if they had let him go, but I like him though. Real quick, I wanted to ask you because you guys were talking about the Niners loss in the NFC Championship game, and I remember that very vividly. But was that your most crushing loss? Like, what, as a sports fan in your lifetime, what is the worst loss you've ever experienced?
Ooh, it was one of them.
I'm gonna say my top 2 was the last 2 seasons.
Yeah,
that was really, that close to the Super. I was like, I couldn't believe. I had a feeling I never had all my life as a Lions fan. Like, wow, we about to go to the Super Bowl. Then that second half started. The ball hitting off my man helmet, and I'm like, what is going on?
The Lions curse shocked, coming back to.
And then you go 15-2 with all the injuries, 2 games, and you at home. And we blew it, man. I think both of them, man.
Jacob, you should have seen the city. I remember, I don't know if you was watching Rashawn. I was watching the news, and they were showing downtown Detroit how, we're a sports town, but this is a football. Don't get it confused. We've seen the Pistons win, we've seen the Tigers and the Red Wings, but this is a football town. Man, they was ready to explode. It was. If you could talk to my wife, I remember she came down, she heard me hollering in the first half, I'm on, then she came down the second half at the end when I knew they were going to lose, and she said, I'm going to leave you alone for a minute. I was hurt, Jacob. I was really hurt, man. That was, yeah, so I don't really remember too many other times. I'm sure it's, once we get off, there's probably some other times I was hurt, but that most recently, that was tough. And then, like you said, to follow it up the next year, me and my wife went out to a sports bar to watch the game. And so, we were expecting to win. Everybody's expecting to win this year. I didn't expect to win. I'm not going to lie. San Francisco, I was like, this is going to be I was hoping they'd win, but I wasn't expecting it. That Washington year, I'm like, we're going to win this. Everybody had the gear on. Everybody at the restaurant was ready to explode. And just from the beginning of the game, you kind of just felt every time they didn't punt, it's like they just took the air out of the whole restaurant, the whole city. It was just like, quiet.
Man, yeah. But I'm excited. New season. I'm excited. We got the Packers, the new look Packers. They talking about put cheese on everything. Yeah, we about to see. I can't wait. So yeah, fellas, we'll be back next week. And any parting words? Hey, any
So I
last
wanted to ask
words
Jacob
y'all
real
want to
quick. What
share?
was his? He asked us that question. What was your moment, first sports moment?
Yeah, I would say there are two. One, I mean, the Super Bowl with the Bengals.
Woo.
I
At least
could
y'all
not.
got there though.
But I knew like this is like with Mahomes out there, Lamar, Josh, like you're not getting here every year, you know. And so that one killed me. And then 2019 Ohio State, Clemson. That I you needed there wasn't a forklift big enough to pry me off the couch that night. Like I couldn't. That was like the one time where I usually hate blaming the refs for stuff, but that was the one time where I was like, we actually had this taken from us. And then yeah, I would say those are the two. I'm also a Cavs fan. Like in 2016, if we would have lost that game seven, that would have been the worst for me.
Oh,
But
LeBron.
yeah, that game seven, that's the most nervous I've ever been for any sporting event. So if we would have lost that, that would have been my answer. But yeah, those two. Other than that,
Hey, as a true fan, you don't forget them moments, man. But that's gonna make it when you get to the top that much more better. You know. Any last words before we get out of here, guys?
No, we got to do this again, man. This is to me, this is the best time of year for me. I love fall because you got college football and then you got pro, and then I'm a college basketball fan, and we talked about the pro basketball, the Pistons and the Cavs. So we got to get on more often and chop it up and talk about our sports teams,
Yeah,
man.
we'll be back next week. Wrapping up week 1 NFL, college week 2. So hey, until next time. All right, peace, fellas. Peace,
all right,
everybody.
fellas.
appreciate you
Subscribe.
guys.
All right.
Peace.